Episode 9 of Valorant is titled Collision, and we'll go over every story beat and lore drop that I could find during these 3 acts. But I want you to point out as many ideas of Collision that you can find throughout Valorant's story. Like how Vice's expertise and personality may be colliding with some on the protocol. Typically, Act 1s of stories are considered the rising action, which is a build up to a climatic event. And we start things off with the Valorant protocol and their aftermath raiding the Scion's Elder Grotto base. It seems to be a bittersweet one. Taking down a base and finding so much about Radiantite should be considered a win. However, Sage states that the Scions wiped all their personnel files and how the physical servers were damaged during the firefight. These files were most likely connected to each member's history, including Omen's, meaning uncovering who he truly was before and during his time with the Scions of Hourglass proves to be an even harder task now. Fade is also experiencing a bitter result to all of this.
Brimstone, it's Fade. Ah! It's Fade. When you briefed us on this location, I thought maybe this is where he's been all this time. But no. There was no sign of him in the cells. There's nothing. Nothing! You live until you're forgotten, right? I'll keep looking.
If you didn't know, Fade first attacked the protocol because she thought they were keeping someone who was very important to her, which turned out to be a false assumption. However, she joined the protocol in hopes of finding this individual one day, and it looks like she has to keep waiting while keeping their memory alive. And here we have Skye, who is echoing many people's frustration whenever Brimstone fails to pick up his phone.
I swear, one day you'll pick up the bloody phone. We need to get some samples from this Hourglass base over to the lab, all right? Because I'm down in the south wing and there's this flora down here. Brimstone, I have spent enough time outside to know that these things aren't indigenous to our Earth. I mean, it looks almost... Nah. I'm gonna go track down Gecko. Call me back.
As well as the fact that these plants are far from normal. We also hear that Yoru adds another knife to his collection.
It's me. I found a cool blade in one of the Hourglass vaults. I'm taking it. I asked KJ if it was safe, and she said it was. Besides, being obviously a knife. Okay, goodbye.
My question is, which one of these did he decide to pick? Or did he take a knife that we didn't even get to see? Possibly, could this be hinting at Oni 3.0? I mean, Yoru does have a special interaction with the 2.0 bundle. Regardless, mysterious events start to take place as the protocol continues their sweep of Abyss. Gecko starts to point out how a part of the map is code and that he heard breathing, which is most likely coming from the person in the containment unit that was broken during the events of Abyss's cinematic trailer. However, this doesn't stop the likes of Killjoy and Raze from exploring more of the map.
Brimstone! Oh, Brimstone! I just completed a preliminary scan of the Hourglass archives, and without putting too fine a point on it, this database is extraordinary. I see artifacts and dates that span the entire length of human history, carbon-dated technology that completely upends our understanding of material science, biological readings that have significant repercussions for evolutionary... Oh, listen, I've barely scratched the surface. I need more time. I know you're going to say no, but I also want you to know that if you want me to leave, you'll have to send KO to drag me away or some such. Okay, that's it. Oh, back to my... Ooh. Please tell Raze that I saw her missed calls and that I'm fine. I'm just having such a good...
Well, Chefinho, I found her. Killjoy! Hello! She's more obsessed with these archives than she was with that Geodome on Pearl. I'll leave the Gachina with her toys as long as she's safe. Heading back to base. My turn to cook, no? Maybe I'll make some moqueca. Yeah, Killjoy loves moqueca. Seriously? Nothing? I give up. She'll come back eventually. Ciao, cara.
While Cypher, being an expert with encryptions, he points out that there are more Hourglass bases still running out in the wild. And this is giving me major Hydra vibes, a mythical beast whose legend states that cutting off one of its head means 2 more grow in its place. Just because the protocol took down a couple of their facilities doesn't mean that they're completely done running their operations. Sova, on the other hand, alerts us to a breaking development, that one of the containment units was completely shattered, broken by force.
Brimstone! Brimstone, pick up! Listen, something's happened. The containment cell has been smashed open by whatever was inside. There's metal everywhere, and I can't turn these alarms off. Brimstone, get over here now!
And Deadlock states that there was a strange alloy left behind, carbon-based but infused with incredible amounts of radianite, that it has an interesting property of being inert when exposed to extreme cold, hence the liquid nitrogen. And while following this individual, Jet details that this person was on a generational run of vengeance, leaving behind little to no traces of the Scions as she walks.
Hey, good news. We've been able to track the escapee. It led us straight through 2 more hourglass hideouts. I'm at the latest one now, or what's left of it. Damn, these Scions didn't stand a chance. What this prisoner did to Hourglass, it's vicious. And she's getting better at it, mastering her powers as she goes. I don't know if this is revenge or a vendetta, or she's just a monster or what. I'm gonna send over some videos of the handiwork. You should brace yourself.
Police investigations are continuing at the scene of the incident that occurred in Myeongdong, Seoul today. It has not yet been revealed who or what is behind this incident, but experts believe that they are very dangerous.
This is Kim Ji-kyung from NBC News.
And that's where we leave off of when it comes to Act 1's storyline, just before the agents collide with Vice. But let's take a break and look at the battle pass. And speaking of collisions, there is a skin line called Convergence. And I'm not gonna lie, it looks like it could be cousins with the Ion series. But I kind of want to focus on the name Convergence. I want to say it has a little bit more of a positive connotation, especially when you think about worlds colliding. I know in comic books, a lot of new universes are made with the idea of 2 universes colliding with each other and creating something new. And you know what? Valorant's story is all about 2 Earths. And throughout Valorant's lore, there has been a plot line of these 2 Earths colliding and possibly destroying everything.
I saw the walls holding our world together fall apart. I heard small, uncertain voices crying out, and I could taste the fear. There was so much of it, like the whole planet had fever. Brimstone, I have seen many things in my line of work, but we must not let this come to pass.
This skin line could be hinting at a possible future where instead of destroying everything, that this possible collision can create something new. And I do want to point out to you guys that Collision is the name of this Valorant episode. Next, we have a Dream Bubble player card which shows the Boba shop in Sunset. To my surprise, ISO isn't here. However, what is here is Deadlock's player ID card. It's funny that both ISO and Clove got theirs before her despite being on the protocol longer than them. But going back to the Dream Bubbles collection, we have a player card as well as sprays and a gun buddy. I want to say that this is Jet in an alternative universe where she's a pop star. League of Legends has many bands and music groups. I wanted to say the most famous one is KDAW, so maybe in the future we might be getting something similar to that in Valorant. But to bring us back down to a little bit more of reality, we have the Home Again / Viper player card. I mentioned in her lore video that she likes to run, and it looks like she is in Seattle while doing it in this player card. And this card is titled Death's Worst Nightmares, which has KO, Sage, and Clove, agents who can cheat the idea of death. Interestingly, Phoenix isn't here, once again possibly letting us know that he may not really be dying when he uses his ability to revive, similar to Omen's whole case of immortality. And speaking of Omen, we see him in the Lost and Found player card, which kind of summarizes Omen's saga, as well as hints at Agent 26. I kind of wonder why Cypher is here. Is there more to this story that we just don't know about when it comes to him? Because why include him but not the likes of, let's say, ISO or Sova, who are also present during the Reckoning cinematic? We do see Viper here, who was a big part of Omen becoming who he is today. Lastly, we have the tier 50 card, which hinted at Agent 26. But let's head over to Act 2, where in most story and plot lines, this is the act where we get more rising action before finally reaching the climax at the end of it. The climax can also be found somewhere in the midway point of Act 3 in some stories too. One of which was Omen and Viper, once enemies turned friends, and now possibly somewhere in between. However, this email from Viper tells us that something else might be transpiring. Neon's email also confirms this too. She's giving Brimstone a heads up to the fact that it seems like Omen is here to stay. The devs also decided to add new voice lines to Omen and other agents that reveal that their connections between one another have healed and or grown stronger.
You can relax, Sabine. I gain nothing from killing you now. Attend to the present, not the past. I've made my peace with our Viper. I cannot say the same for theirs. She will learn to fear me. Ordered to kill Sabine again. Does nothing ever change? That I kill you now, after all this time. Ironic.
I do find this one Lotus voice line kind of interesting from him.
We should have left this place buried. Nothing good will come of our meddling.
If there was ever a character that the developers wanted to foreshadow a major event in the future, it would be from a character named Omen. It kind of reminds me of that one time where Astra activated some kind of device on Lotus, and some thought it would destroy Alpha Earth if it was set off. Luckily, there was a spike explosion that sapped some of its energy away. However, there's still a possibility that it might be activated once again in the future. Omen also does have some voice line interactions with Vice.
Omen, the Scion spoke of you often. Is it true you once killed a man with a tree branch?
Anything can be made a weapon. But I am sorry, I don't recall. Freed from your prison at last.
This is just a reference to the time that Vice was locked up by the Scions of Hourglass. I can't wait to see more agent interactions, especially with Viper. There's a lot of history there between the two, and I want to know more, especially since Vice and Viper are very similar. And Omen isn't the only Valorant agent that used to work for the Scions of Hourglass.
Omen, you still remember the code of our former employer, right?
I remember that it always ended in death. Seniority wins.
ISO was another person, and Omen has some praises for him.
Remarkable. Your precision knows no bounds, ISO. Their ISO buried hundreds. Let us not be part of that statistic.
I guess you could say that they're cut from a similar cloth. Something that even Vice can point out with Omen's expertise as well.
I never tire of watching you work, Omen.
Omen also has some words for Clove, and it reveals a little bit more about this whole immortality thing.
Their clove returns from death, yet natural balance is preserved. How is that possible?
This just confirms that Clove's immortality works completely different than Sage's abilities of reviving people, and I figure it's going to be different than how Phoenix revives himself as well. And if you didn't know, Omen likes to knit as a way to relax himself and keep focus.
ISO, I owe you a great debt. Would you be opposed to receiving a hand-knit sweater?
ISO's definitely a lucky man for getting one of his works. And Omen's most likely grateful to ISO because ISO himself was kind of a catalyst to Omen finding more about his past life, to knowing who the Scions of Hourglass was. And I'm sure during this journey, Omen got to know more about himself and realized that he's not his past, but rather he's the product of his current environment on the team. Omen also points out some things about his Omega counterpart. It makes me wonder, how much does Omega Omen know about his past too?
How many truths has their Omen uncovered? Whatever he knows, it will be mine.
At the same time, the protocol was able to track down Vice and confront her, which seemed to be more of a challenge than they originally thought. I want to point out that each of these members that were sent to stop Vice all have abilities that can get past her wall. Just a happy coincidence, or maybe possibly planned. Unfortunately for them though, Vice is more than her abilities. She's a tactician through and through. She was able to read their movements and trap them exactly where she wanted them. If it wasn't for Omen, the protocol most likely would have suffered more casualties. However, with Vice joining the protocol as its 26th member, it seems that this plot has reached its climax as well. I do mention in my Vice lore video, she seems to be a valuable asset to the team due to her knowledge on the Interverse. However, her approach on the battlefield is just as sharp and ruthless as how she talks to people.
Huh. For some reason, your failing to answer your phone does not surprise me. Let's hope this isn't a precedent you continue to cement. I finished reading through Valorant's interversal documentation, and your research is borderline amateur. Your findings on seismic fluctuations, isotope decay, even organic substrates are all objectively wrong. My team and I had a more comprehensive understanding in all these fields over a decade ago. Has there been no more work done? This is one of the most intriguing fields of scientific research, and all I see from this team, your team, is apathy and atrophy. I will spearhead this project. I will teach you all about my work, and you will thank me.
But according to this email by Vice to Brimstone, the protocol is confident that they have located all remote users and have plans to take care of them, which seem to have went smoothly as well.
Brimstone, I told you my focus would remain fixed on the Scions until I was confident their threat was nullified. Today, I am confident. Their communication relays still sputter to life on occasion, but it amounts to little more than background noise, the last groans of a hurt animal with a broken back. In short, I am satisfied. As agreed, I will now fully align my efforts with yours.
Breach also confirms that they were able to bolt up the doors of Abyss if anyone tries to break in, that the only people that they have to worry about are those from Omega Earth. I want to say that this is alluding to the events of the Incursion cinematic, where multiple groups of Omega agents attacked Alpha Earth at the same time. I made a lore breakdown of this trailer, but the key takeaways are that Jet has a mark on her chest area from the night her doppelganger attacked her. This would be one way of us telling the two apart. However, if it's ever revealed that Omega Jet has the same mark on her chest, then we can lean towards the idea of time travel, which is a far-fetched theory, but some of the most exciting ones are usually really out there. Rest in peace to those Ominins of Squid, as well as those ISO theories too. It was always fun while it lasted. Regardless, Omega agents attacked Icebox, Sunset, and Ascent. And those are the areas where the cinematic showed us the agents actually fighting. This screenshot lets us know that there are other areas on Alpha Earth where attacks are happening. It looks like they were able to take the dub on Icebox, but the aftermath of Ascent and Sunset are unknown. We may never know since this trailer is basically an ad for console Valorant. And before we get to the battle pass, it seems that Gecko's giving Wingman an opportunity to apologize to Brimstone, or maybe take the fall for something that they both had a hand in.
Brimstone, I am sorry to call you, but someone, Wingman, snuck into your office and took a music record without asking. He knows it was wrong and would like to apologize. Ven aquí, apologize. Apologize. He says he's sorry. All right, get out of here. Yeah, real sorry about that, Brim. Won't happen again. I checked the record, no scratches. It's on your desk.
But there is such thing as karma.
Brimstone, hate to ask, but Thrash ate Gecko's dice set again. Not a clue where they ended up, but that's better left a mystery. I had a few to lend him, but he's short a D20. Was wondering if you had one to spare? No one else will part with theirs, too afraid of the aforementioned Thrash. If so, just bring him to the session tomorrow night. Cool. Grand. Alright, see ya!
And I would really appreciate it if you would like and subscribe to this channel. I'm really trying to get monetized so I can hire editors to make better graphics and videos for you guys to enjoy while telling the story of Valorant. In the battle pass, we also see Vice's player card letting us know that she isn't the mysterious Agent 8, unfortunately. But there could be some clues to Agent 8 in the Act 3 battle pass. Here we have a player card titled Steel and String, where we see Sova is on the hunt. I mean, there's a reason why he calls himself a hunter.
You've buried your secrets well, Cypher. But I'm a hunter, and I will find them.
I am the hunter!
Here we see Breach and Raze working together on a car, and it's no secret that they are a little bit buddy-buddy. They have a history of causing trouble and doing crimes either together or separate.
You know, Breachy, in all this chaos, it'd be terrible if some equipment just got lost, you know?
Oh man, just awful. A tragedy. Raze! Together again and we're not even breaking the law.
This player card is titled Cosmic Break and it has Astra, Skye, and Harbor sitting together. I want to say this may have been in India during their time when they were on the Omega Earth in search of Lotus. There was a really cool teaser in the range that had a recording with their encounters with Atlas and how Skye got separated from Astra and Harbor in the process before Astra and Harbor were able to get to Lotus.
Astra! Harbor! How are we looking?
We're almost there. The Atlas troops are gaining on us.
Of course they are. Hold up! How far to the Lost City? Any chance we outrun them?
It's too far. We need a contingency plan.
What you got?
We'll hold them here.
There's no time. We must move. Right. You two keep going. I'll stay here, slow him down.
Are you sure?
Only you two can open the gate. No wuckers. I'll handle it.
Go. Good luck.
Be safe, Skye.
Ah, you know me.
This way. Stay sharp.
Sweeping the area.
Keep it tight. Keep it tight. Perimeter control. I said keep it tight. If I can't see you, you're too far. Where the hell'd you go? Field command, this is Titan lead. I've lost eyes on.
Titan lead? Titan lead, come in. Sector 7 ground units. Titan lead is not responding. Check their position.
Roger, approaching now. Titan lead, you there?
Can't see crap out here.
Wait a minute. Shit, get up out of here. Titan lead down, follow me.
Sector 7, we hear shots fired. Report. Sector 7 ground, report in.
Yeah, that's gonna be a problem.
Who is this? Identify.
Why don't you come and find out, mate?
Alpha contact, Sector 7. All units respond. I repeat, Alpha contact.
Should buy him some time. Where do you think you're going? Thanks for the ride. You gotta be kidding! Hell.
She's heading for the waterfall!
Don't let her jump! Get her!
Harbour, Astra, you owe me.
Here we have a sticker named Noted, which just shows Viper hard at work, and I guess this is how Viper looked a little bit before an incident changed her from a healer to more of a monster that we know of today. This player card is titled Troubleshoot, where we see KJ working on one of Brimstone's gadgets. She's kind of in charge of helping a lot of other people's equipment. We saw it in Deadlock's trailer, and I also do kind of find it interesting that this is called Troubleshoot, and she has a voice line that specifically says do not call her tech support, even though she is kind of doing some troubleshooting as a tech support person right here.
Go ahead, call me tech support again.
And lastly, we have a player card titled Wax on Wax, and it's probably related to when Wingman snuck into Brimstone's office and took one of his records for himself, which kind of forced Gecko to apologize to Brimstone afterwards. Now we have reached Act 3, and in most stories, this is considered the falling action, where things are settled down and we tie up loose ends. In the protocol's case, it's vacation time. As Sage states, individuals can take time off. She echoes this in her voicemail to the team as well.
Brimstone, I've been reflecting on our team's well-being lately, and I think it would serve us all well if we encourage the rest to take time away from their responsibilities more often. The trips we've taken in the past have all been wonderful experiences, and sometimes I think it's good to remind us all of exactly what we're fighting for. That's about it. I don't want to seem overbearing, so please tell me if it seems that way.
However, some might be a little bit more somber than others.
Brimstone, I'm requesting a leave of absence. I received word that the memorial to Ståljägarna was completed. I've been invited to its opening ceremony and was asked to prepare. And I was asked to prepare a speech for my sisters, and if I may go, please.
Remember, Deadlock lost her whole crew to that Radivore bear. It seems that it may be time to revisit that story and events and make peace with it from Deadlock's point of view. On a more brighter side of things, Geckos gives us some positive vibes by inviting the whole crew to a kickback and good times. Skye also plans on taking 2 individuals out on a camping trip.
Hey, so here's some news. Neon and Fade both told me they've never gone camping before, which is ridiculous. Grown women who've never slept under the stars. I'm straight up offended, honestly. So this weekend, I am fixing it. I don't care what you had them signed up for. Pick someone else, because those 2 are with me. All right, thanks.
And speaking of Neon, she's trying her best to get a basketball court in for the protocol.
Hi. Since I've been on the team for a while now, I figure I could make a request. Feels like I've put in the time and energy. So, can we get a basketball court for the rec center? Honestly, I'm surprised I even have to ask. How does the Valorant Rec Center not have a basketball court? That seems like a major oversight. We have 6 machines for rowing, but no basketball? Come on. And it's not just for me. Skye and Astra said they'd play too. This is for, team building. Okay, if a court is out of the question, I would settle for 1 hoop. I'll even help put it up. Okay, thanks.
I guess she really wants to add other people besides Wingman to her poster list. Here we see the likes of Jet, Yoru, Raze, Phoenix, and ISO at Gecko's place. It looks like they couldn't pass up the opportunity for free food and a good time. Also, peep Wingman hanging out the window. I wonder what he's up to. It also seems that Clove and Killjoy decided to go to a DJ concert or rave, which really isn't out of the ordinary for Clove, but it is interesting to see KJ here. Next, we see the likes of KO, Cypher, Omen, Breach, and Vice playing a fighting game that was from the Radiant Entertainment system. You also can see a Blastex Frenzy on the table, as well as what I believe is the Araxis Vandal next to Breach. I could be wrong. And from the looks of it, these might be Omega agents, seeing how behind KO there's a number 7, and right next to it, the locker number is not scratched out. So that either says number 9, or maybe the devs forgot to scratch out the number 8, who knows. Regardless, it looks like Breach's team won, while Omen is really locked in, and KO might be a little bit upset. It is also funny to see that KO has a tank top. I wonder if Raze has anything to do with that.
Hey, other KO, put a shirt on.
And since Raze said other KO, maybe these really are Omega agents instead of Alpha. I could definitely see KO, regardless on what Earth he's on, really taking that to heart and saying, you know what, Raze makes a good point here, and actually puts a shirt on. And for this Axe Battle Pass, we have a small storyline revolving this Neon Break player card, which looks like someone is breaking into or out of a facility using nanotechnology. The only reason why I'm mentioning this is because this collection has a lot of blue being used in it, similar to Deadlock's nanowires. Plus, there's also a card titled Suppression Technology, which is what Deadlock specializes in. However, the more I look at this player card, the more I think it's related to KO, since it reminds me of his Molly, as well as his ability to shut off Radiant related powers. Same with the color blue in the Nano Braid collection. There's nothing concrete here, but I'm just trying to connect dots to things that might or might not be canon and related to each other. And going back to speculations, this player card has 2 robots on it. One of them has the number 8 on it. Agent to 8, anybody? Next, we have some agents dressing up for the holidays, as well as what it seems to be a hamburger player card. A restaurant a certain employee of the month likes to eat at.
Paul Delman, your hamburger food delivery is being held at the East Security Gate.
There's also an Astra spray titled Cosmic Guide, reminding us of Astra's ties to the universe as a cosmic guardian. And this clove spray also reminds us that the butterflies can be seen by other people and interact with the living. We still don't know much about them and where these little guys come from, but they do have something to do with Clove's immortality essence. Here we have another player card titled At the Seams, detailing Vade in what seems to be a very conflicting state. It was mentioned in the past that using her powers isn't a pleasant experience for her to go through all the time. Lastly, we have a player card titled At Striking Distance, foreshadowing the next agent to join the protocol. There's a lot of yellow here, and I know in Act 1 there was a Bumblebee collection and player card that showed a swarm of bees heading towards a scent. For what reasons? We don't know. So maybe the next agent has something to do with that. And honestly, I can't really tell you what kind of hints we're getting from this artwork. I kind of see 2 guns paired back to back. Perhaps this new person's abilities are going to be similar to Chambers, but instead maybe right here there's a flash telling us the next agent is most likely going to be an initiator. There also seems to be something flowing into the light, like it's reconstructing something, or possibly breaking out of a case. Again, I don't really have much here. Let me know down below what you think. That's everything that we know about episode 9 so far. We should be expecting a bit more lore drops soon. Tell me all the examples of collision that you could find as well. And I would really appreciate it if you would like and subscribe to this channel. I'm really trying to get monetized so I can hire editors to make better graphics and videos for you guys to enjoy while telling the story of Valorant. But regardless, stay safe, be a KDA warrior, and I'll see you later.